Welcome to the Floyd Tuition Center Anthem. Enjoy. We are the best in education. We train the best in education. We train the future for our nation. Our training is tested beyond limits. We have done this for years. We have gone above and beyond, educating the generation, the future of tomorrow. DAFLOYD Tuition Center, quality education for your child. DAFLOYD Tuition Center, providing a brighter future for our generation of tomorrow. Best education for your child. Hallelujah. Brighter future for your child. DAFLOYD Tuition Center, quality education. Tuition Center, mwana punzire, mwana ende busuku, mwana punzire, give them a better education. DAFLOYD Tuition Center, quality education, quality education, quality education at DAFLOYD Tuition Center. Mwana punzire, mwana punzire, mwana aende kusukulu, mwana punzire.
Welcome. We are going to do what you are referring to as the DAFLOYD team killer revision for grade 10 to grade 12 stroke GCE. We'll be picking random topics. So for a start, we are going to look at functions, the basic functions, and what really comes in the exam. This mostly comes in paper 1. It carries about 2 to 3 marks, so sometimes even 4, 6. So we are going to look at functions. A function by definition is also a mapping, but it's a special mapping. We know there are 4 types of mapping. We have one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. So a function is simply a one-to-one and one-to-many because it maps only one element in the range from the domain. So those are by definition. However, for us, our interest is to give the killer notes in the shortest possible time so that you know what comes in the exam and how it goes about it. So the things you need to note on functions are, number 1, you need to know that f of x is the same as the y-axis. So like if you have, this is your Cartesian coordinate plane, this y is the same as f of x. This one you have to know. Meaning where there is f of x, you can replace. Then number 2, we have to know that a function can be written that f of x is such that x implies 2x minus 1. It can be written like that. Number 3, you can write the same function in this manner. This is the same function. The other part is the reverse of it, which is the inverse of a function. The other part also you have to know is about fg of x. This is called a composite function. Under this, you can have things like f inverse of g of x, or you can have something like this, where they say fg inverse of x. All these are possibilities with functions. This is the most easiest part. You have to look for our YouTube videos, the 3 YouTube videos on integers, because most of us fail because we forget about the basic elements of mathematics like integers. We've done 3 videos as the DAFLOYD team from our research and experience over years in syllabus D Zambian maths. What we need is the integers. So make sure you check on our YouTube channel, DAFLOYD Data Collectors, for these 3 videos. If you want to pass mathematics, the key is paper 1, which is 2 hours. So let's dive into basic examples we can have on functions. So functions and killer examples. Okay, so killer examples on functions. So it will be, let's just say number 1, we have fx is equal to the one I picked, 2x minus 1. Then they say, first they'll say given f of x is equal to 2x minus 1. Evaluate. They say you find the value, evaluate. Number 1, we say f negative 1. And number 2, we say f inverse of x. Number 3, we say f inverse of negative 3. Number 4, we say solve for x if f of x is equal to 5. So in the meantime, we can look at these 4 possible questions. So how do we go about it? We go for the solution. So the solution will be like this. Solution. The first thing, always start with a question. It gives you confidence. F of x is equal to 2x minus 1. Therefore, the question at hand is saying we have to evaluate f1 is equal to this. So as you can see, this is f, that is f. This is a bracket. So meaning where there is x, we substitute what? Negative 1. So here what we do, write 2, we substitute negative 1 minus 1. Pay much attention to the signs and write in a vertical way so that it looks neat. So 2 times negative 1, the answer is negative 2 minus 1. Then negative 2 minus 1. If you go to our videos, common sign, we add and pick the common sign under integers and the rules we have. So here, therefore, our f negative 1 is equal to negative 3. This will be our answer, and the examiner will be very happy to mark us in a correct way. They say this is correct. Welcome Team DAFLOYD. We are continuing in our killer revision of function. So last time we had a function like we're given like f of x is equal to 2x minus 1. We solved the basics, but today the same function, which is an example, is going to lead us to something very good. We are going to look at lesson number 1, solve for x if f of x is equal to 5. Then number 2, they say f inverse of x. And then number 3, they say f inverse of negative 3. These, they usually come in exams. So now we focus on the solution. So solution for this, we start with number 1. To solve for x if f of x is equal to 5. So we copy as usual the function f of x is equal to 2x minus 1. And then they have given us this f of x, they say, is equal to 5. So as you can see, this f of x and f of x are the same. Meaning, where there is f of x, we can put what? We can put 5. So it's going to be like 5 is equal to 2x minus 1. Then they want us to solve for x. So they want us to solve for x. Now, in most cases, we can solve direct like this, but in most cases, we are used to have this part. I'm picking it, I pick it. I put 2x here minus 1. I pick the equal sign. I pick 5. These are not crossing, I'm picking, so that because most of the times we are used to solve it this way. So we group the like terms here to be 2x is equal to 5. When this guy crosses there, it will be plus 1. Therefore, this will be 2x is equal to 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, divided by 2, and thereby 2. Therefore, your x is equal to 3. This way is the answer. The examiner will be very happy and give you a tick. So, having looked at that solution, we are going to look at number 2, which says f of x, f inverse of x. So we are going to look at f inverse of x. Okay. So the function is still the same. F of x is equal to 2x minus 1. But now this time in our number 2, they want us to find f inverse of x. So here what we do, always we say let f of x equal to y. If you remember in our preliminary notes, we had explained this in the notation. The reason why this is f of x is equal to y, they are this one and the same thing. But the reason why we put the y is to avoid confusing the x. So here, this is very cardinal when you're finding the inverse. So where there is f of x, we'll put y. So the new equation will look like y is equal to 2x minus 1. So this one has replaced the f of x. Now, having done that, we can now solve for x, or in other words, make x the subject of the formula, the subject. So here what we do, we are going to say the same way, because we are used to solve here. I'll pick this one, all of it, I pick it. I write here 2x minus 1. Again, the equal sign, I pick it. I'm not making anything cross. And I pick the y this side. So here I'll remain with 2x is equal to y, this y. This one crosses there, it will be plus 1. So I divide here by 2 and everything here by 2. Don't make a mistake of dividing by 2 there and then just do everything. So here we have x is equal to y plus 1 over 2. Therefore, your f inverse of x, this f inverse of x, we pick this one to turn into that is equal to, where there is y, we say x plus 1 over 2. So this is a f inverse of x, and this is the correct answer. So you see, the examiner will be very happy again that you have gotten it right. So after we've done this, there is another question we have to conclude with on inverse. I think we can even solve it here. They are saying we solve for f inverse of 3. So f inverse of 3 is very easy. We have f inverse of x is equal to this. So this one, we are just going to say, if we have f inverse of x is equal to x plus 1 over 2, then they want us to find f inverse of 3. So where there is x, we put what? We put 3 plus 1 over 2. Therefore, your f inverse of 3, sorry, it's negative 3. Sorry about that. It should be negative 3. So the f inverse of negative 3. Remember when we are doing integers in the other previous videos, common sign we subtract and pick the, you remember those. So the final answer here is negative 2 over 2. Therefore, your f inverse of negative 3 is equal to negative 1. Again, the examiner will be happy and give you a full mark there. So, in other words, in summary, we have covered the singular straight line type of function. We have covered how we substitute them, how we find the inverse, how we solve for x. However, it's also important to use method 2. Method 2 is very easy. Since we said inverse is going backwards, like we had this equation where they are saying f inverse of x. So to find this is reverse. So they have said we have -3. So we say we just substitute where there is f of x. We say -3 is equal to this equation, which is 2x minus 1. Then we solve for x as usual. As I told you, we pick this, it will be 2x minus 1 is equal to the equal sign. I pick it, I put it here, I pick this one, nothing is crossing like that. Then we remain with 2x is equal to -3. This guy, when he crosses there, is going to be +1. Again, we get 2x is equal to -2 divided by 2, divide by 2, and therefore your f inverse of -3 is equal to -1. We find the same. This works when they have not wanted you like to find the f inverse like it was with the previous example. So this also can make the examiner happy. Now from here, we are going to look at the composite of a function and how to find the f of x and other things. Then we call it done. And you should be able to use questions from our DAFLOYD booklet. And you solve it like paper 1, no calculator, everything is there. And if you have questions, follow our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, and everything, you can have it. So guys, let's go now to a composite of a function and we do more. Killer revision, we go to what they call composite of a function or a function of a function. Composite of a function. Now here, it's where you have two or more functions. For example, I can say given f of x is equal to 2x minus 3, and then g of x is equal to, let's say, x plus 1. Then they say evaluate number 1 fg of x, number 2 let's say fg of, let's say, -1, number 3 they can also say f inverse of g of x. Then number 4, the last one, they can say f inverse g of -1, for example. So we are going to look at this and it will conclude about our functions. So to start with, when they have given us a function fg of x, usually we consider and work from behind here. This is considered as 1, and this part all of the function will go into f function. So in our case, they have given us, we can start with a solution. In our case, they have given us, number 1, they say fg of x. So as you can see, the f function we have, our f function we have. But what is our g function? So our g function, which you can see, it's this one. So we'll put where there is g of x as x plus 1 is equal to. Our f function, as you can see, is the same as 2x minus 3. So where there is x, we are going to substitute with this function. So where there is x there, we put x plus 1. And then here, as you can see, minus 3. So just to emphasize a point, for composite function, we read it from behind. So g of x, we picked g of x. This is gx is equal to x plus 1. We have gx. So all of gx here, we keep x plus 1. This is x plus 1. And then we are putting it in the first function, or the second function, as you say. as per explanation in this one. So f function is here. So where there is x, we put this one. So after this, we continue. 2 times x, it is 2x. 2 times positive 1 is positive 2 minus 3. Therefore, our fg of x is equal to 2x, 2 minus 3, the answer is negative 1. So this will be our answer. And the examiner or your teacher will be happy and mark you correct like that. Then we go to the next part where they are saying, number 2, they are saying fg negative 1. So as you can see, we have f and fg of this. So in this function which we have fg of x, where there is x, we are going to put negative 1. So in this function, we say 2, because this is fg of x. Where there is this, we put negative 1 minus 1 is equal to 2 times this, it's negative 2 minus 1. So if we have that, the final answer, fg of negative 1 is equal to, when you add that common signs, you add and pick the common sign, it will be negative 3. And that will be the correct answer, and the people examining you will be very happy. From here, we are going to look at the last two parts here, the inverse of a composite function. It's very easy since we know how to find the function.
Welcome to the Floyd Tuition Center Anthem. Enjoy.